Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Ben. I love talking movies, I love talking TV, and also really like talking about the entertainment business. So like, subscribe, do that YouTube stuff. Let's get into it. In the last video, I talked about how insane it was for streaming shows to hop to a different streamer and find success. I broke down Cobra Kai into its journey into Netflix and how it became even bigger. And in this video, I want to break down the Real Bros of Simi Valley because it had a very different path, very different success, and also very different implications for the industry at large. If you didn't know, the Real Bros of Simi Valley had 3 different distributors. Like, that is insane. So let's break it down. When the Real Bros of Simi Valley came out, it originally aired on YouTube in 2017. It wasn't a part of like YouTube Red, it wasn't an official thing, it was 100% independently produced, it was relatively low budget, and it kind of reminded me of the old Jimmy sketches back in the day of just like him making stuff. And it aired on his YouTube channel, Life According to Jimmy, and it did pretty well. It was kind of like a throwback to his old stuff, but in a brand new way. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I know a lot of others who did it as well. They didn't really have that many episodes, they only had 4. Once again, it was largely independent. I can't find anything about like the financing of it. I'm actually kind of curious if like he had any type of product placement in it to like get any type of money. Anyway, like I'm getting a little too film nerdy here. But it did pretty well. Like, it got a small following, and when Facebook was making a scripted content department, they made Facebook Watch and they acquired the show for another season. And like, I know no one who used Facebook Watch. Like, it was not a good platform. Like, what's weird is it went from YouTube, which is a very good online video platform, to Facebook Watch, which was really terrible. Like, I kind of felt like a boomer using it. I didn't know when things were coming out. I was like Googling stuff. I was trying to figure out how to get like notifications for the show. It was really hard to find out when the show was coming out. Anyway, it did well. It did pretty decently. There was like a lot of different memes about it. There was a lot of different like YouTube and Instagram reels. Like, I've seen that one video of him beefing with the baby several hundred times. There's that one meme where he's like, I'm straight up not having a good time. It became like a big show, and it continued into another season for its 3rd season. But unfortunately, just like kind of how it happened to YouTube with Cobra Kai, Facebook decided to walk away from making scripted content. They realized it was really expensive. They realized not everyone can have their streamer. Once again, we should have seen the streaming bubble coming, but we didn't. And then it left Jimmy with nowhere to go. But Jimmy proved he had a show. Like, he had an entire audience pivot over from YouTube to a terribly watched platform, and it still did well on there. It blew up even more. He proved that he had a strong audience. So from there, he went to make a movie for Roku, the 3rd streamer, which just premiered earlier this month. At the time of making this video, I have no idea if this movie did well. I hope it did. It seemed like a lot of love went into it. It was a very good movie. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. But I hope that it did well. Like, I hope that the people who watched it on YouTube, watched it on Facebook, and then went and watched it on Roku. Like, 3 different things. Crazy to ask people to do, but I hope it did well. It seems like a really like passion project for this guy, and the fact that he's made it happen is pretty wild. Like, I have to give a lot of respect to Jimmy and his producing partner Christian Pierce. Like, this goes beyond like their YouTube channel that they made. Like, they had a lot of success back in the day with Life According to Jimmy, making a ton of sketches, making a ton of videos, but Jimmy kind of like grew up from that. Like, Jimmy said like he doesn't really like the YouTube platform anymore. He doesn't like what it's turned into, and he went and got mainstream success elsewhere. Like, he was in movies, he's in TV shows, he has a decent voice acting career. He was the star of an ABC family sitcom. Like, he no way needed to return to YouTube, but he did. And I really admire like that, like, we can just figure out how to do it attitude. And he saw his old YouTube channel as a potential distributor for a proof of concept. It reminds me back when like young filmmakers, like when they're first starting out, they just get a bunch of their friends together and they just make movies together, right? That's exactly what he did with Life According to Jimmy. But once you hit success, you kind of walk away from that and you do it on a much larger scale model. There's a lot of politics involved with the studios, and that's just kind of the way that they keep going. Like, I really admire just how scrappy all of this is. Like, it's clear he's just calling his friends, asking for favors. Like, I'm assuming he pays them, but like, he probably doesn't pay them like amazingly, because he's just asking for favors. Like, he just wants to make cool shit. Like, that's what we're all in this for, right? Is to make cool and fun stuff. Like, it's pretty obvious if you know his life who he's like contacted. Like, Zoe is his girlfriend, she's in the movie. Nina Dobrev and Shaun White, they have cameos in the movie, like they're snowboarding buddies if you take one look at his Instagram. But it goes even deeper than that, which really just shows just how kind of scrappy he is as a filmmaker. Like if you look at season 3, there's an actor, Griffin Gluck, who plays a student in there. And that's pretty clear that he met that guy from American Vandal, and that's when they became friends. They started together on the show, and so he probably just called him up and was like, hey, I have a role, do you want it? But it extends beyond there. Like if you watch that scene, Griffin's like classmate friend is another actor called Tarmish Barbuska, who starred with Griffin in Big Time Adolescence on Hulu. And you can kind of tell that he probably just like called him up, was like, hey, like I have this role, do you want it? By the way, do you have a friend? Do you know of someone? We have another role. And they probably met together. My theory on this is maybe proven, especially with season 3, because Pete Davidson is in it and he has the blonde hair, and that's around the Big Time Adolescence filming as well. So it's pretty clear that he just kind of hits up his friends, hits them up for favors, hits them up, seems like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, can you get me in contact with that person? Like, it really is really respectable for this guy to just make all this stuff, probably pretty cheap, but like he makes it really cool and it's a lot of fun. And this makes me wonder what the future of filmmaking will turn into with YouTube. Like YouTube is still pretty young, we're still seeing like the fallout of like the old YouTubers, and it's very rare that a YouTuber went over into mainstream, like I said earlier. But like Jimmy couldn't have made this show possible without his old YouTube channel. Like, yeah, he could have made the show, made a YouTube channel for that, but it didn't have as many subscribers as his old YouTube channel. Even though he's left it, he still has all those subscribers and he still has a path towards distribution. Which makes me wonder, will this next generation of filmmakers kind of like make YouTube channels, keep that as a base and hold on to it just in case they want to go back, just in case they want to do a proof of concept, just in case they just want to make something fun with their friends. And we're kind of already seeing this. Like ironically enough, Cobra Kai star Jacob Bertrand, he has a YouTube channel and he released his own little short film showcasing like his martial arts skills, right? But he can totally use that in the future and use it just to make more stuff, use it just to make proof of concept stuff, or just make his own shows and like do like Jimmy did and just pay for it out of pocket and see what you can do. And they're doing this because the current studio model is broken right now. It's outdated. They're not really adapting to this new form. That's why like TikTok and YouTube is still overtaking most streaming services, and that's why people aren't going to the theaters as much. But it's really interesting to see that YouTube can still be a model of distribution if you have the base, if you have the subscribers, and I'm really kind of excited to see if filmmakers will go back to their channels after they've already found mainstream success. Just something to think about. Who knows what'll happen. I'm really excited to see where it goes. So that's the strange streaming history of the real bros of Simi Valley, and none of that would have been possible without that strong audience that was just happy to move over to the next platform. Thank you for watching. If you watched the Cobra Kai one, thank you for watching that as well. I'll see you in the next one.